I'm here in the lobby of the Waldorf Astoria in Yerushalayim, and as you can see, there's a bride getting ready for her wedding. It's going to take place tonight in Yerushalayim. And whenever you come to Yerushalayim and you see a wedding, it has special meaning. The reason it has special meaning is because at every single wedding we sing Od Yishama B'Yarei Yehuda V'Chutzot Yerushalayim Kol Sason V'Kol Simcha Kol Chatan V'Kol Kala. May it be heard speedily in the cities of Judea and in the courtyards of Jerusalem, the sound of joy, the sound of gladness, the sound of the bride and the groom coming out of their wedding canopies. And so to experience a wedding in Israel is something extraordinary. But you know what I love about Israel is that the experience begins on the plane. Let me tell you what happened as we were flying over with El Al. And there was a man who came over to me and he said, I need to say Kaddish. I'm on the way to Israel for the unveiling of my mother, of blessed memory, and I would like to say Kaddish. Can we arrange a minyan? I said, of course we could. But then the head of the security on the plane came over and said, you know, due to COVID, we can't congregate as normally on El Al flights in the back of the plane because we have to have social distancing, so we can't arrange a minyan on the plane. The man was very distraught. He said, you know, I haven't missed one Kaddish for my mother. How can I miss a Kaddish? So finally the man said, look, I know the security on the plane said, look, we know how important Kaddish is. Here's what you can do. If you all sit in your seats, no one gets up, and no one moves, you could make a minyan in your seats. But the problem is we didn't have 10 people sitting right around us. So I had to start asking everyone around me if they're willing to be part of the minyan. And here, of course, which Jew is not going to be part of a minyan? So this one starts taking out his yarmulke from his backpack. The other one didn't have a yarmulke, so he took his pillowcase, took off the pillowcase, and put the pillowcase on his head. And then there was one Jew there sitting in one row in front of me, and I asked him, will you be part of our minyan? He said, normally I would not, but if he needs to say Kaddish, of course I'll be part of the minyan. And sure enough, we managed to make a minyan on the plane. The minute you get on an El Al flight, you already feel the beauty of the homeland. Being in Israel is a tremendous blessing and a privilege. And a matter of fact, this week's Torah portion is Ve'et Chanan. Ve'et Chanan is Moshe Rabbeinu pleading with God to be allowed to come to the land of Israel. And unfortunately, God did not allow him to come into the land of Israel. And our rabbis say that the word Ve'et Chanan has the numerical value of the number 515. And our rabbis say that Moshe Rabbeinu prayed 515 prayers to be allowed to come into the land of Israel. And what's amazing is that the numerical value of the word tefillah, prayer, is also 515. And what our rabbi is saying is that every time a Jew prays, he has to pray with the same intensity and devotion as Moshe Rabbeinu prayed, 515 prayers to enter into the land of Israel. I know while we'll be here in Israel over the next 10 days, we will pray at least 515 prayers, because every step of the way is a prayer. When we see a bride going to her wedding canopy in Yerushalayim, we are reminded of the prayer, may it come soon the day that all brides and grooms should be able to celebrate and hear the joy of the bride and the groom in Jerusalem. Everything you experienced in Israel is a prayer that was promised and fulfilled by us coming here today for thousands of years, a prayer of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that their descendants should always be in the land of Israel, a prayer that was answered, and so many prayers for the Jewish people for our future. Pray with us, join with us. We're going to be praying throughout this trip. May God's revealed goodness and blessings be upon each and every one of us.